And welcome to Add More Zest. And my name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and I'm back working on Cosmic Trip. I'm getting there. It is still overhanging my easel, but not by a lot. I feel like the the end is nigh. So I'm going to start. I'm on the top end of this, so I have pushed it as far as I can over on my desk, and I've got it clipped to my light pad and easel. But we do have quite a bit of colour in this bit, albeit a lot of purples and blues, but there is quite a few colours. So let's start with my first one here, which is actually the letter P. I'm going to zoom in. Oh, the zoom actually isn't too bad because I've pulled over a double section. I'm using the blue tray. This will be coming as a stock colour along with the limited editions for next month's launch. I was actually sorting out my video schedule earlier today because it seems to have taken me quite a while to actually get to the point of starting filming today. But yeah, I was sorting out my schedule and I had everything all lined up, and then I realised that next Saturday is the video of shop launch items, so I had to rearrange everything, but it's all good. At least I did all the planning work beforehand, before actually starting filming. And yeah, new shop items will be coming next week. They'll be announced next week and they'll be coming the week after. But I thought it's an ideal time to use the blue tray because the numbers should be plenty enough for me to launch it as an item. Excuse me, depending on how many are ordered will depend on if there can be, a couple of days delay due to we don't tend to put the same sort of limit on stock. So occasionally, if you guys outsell more than I think, it may take me a little bit just to sort of catch up with it all. And hopefully green will follow the month after, but a lot of that will depend, it actually will depend greatly on how well the blue sells as to whether I can get the printers, how many printers I can get printing green and how many have to print blue. So it may be I have to do a couple of months between each, but we shall see. Excuse me. I've got a tickle that won't go away at the moment. But yeah, I've been working on Cosmic Trip a bit. I've also worked a little bit on some of my Paint Gem minis. I actually only have Christmas kitted up at the moment, but I've been working on that. And one thing I did actually notice, which may make me do some of the sections on here ever so slightly different, is that when it comes to the ABs, because I use the wax tipped pen to put down the ABs, it's not as easy to nudge something the right way because the wax tips are a lot softer. So because I've decided to add ABs to the Paint Gem mini Christmas sets, what I decided to do on the last one I did was I added the ABs first, because then I could use the diamonds that I was putting around it to nudge any of the ABs if I needed to. Like if they weren't quite in straight, or they were a little bit off centre of the square, I could use the diamonds I was putting around it to nudge them into place and sort of slide them across. So I might do that with some of the ABs on here. I only have 2 ABs here, but what I might do is when it comes around to some of the colours around it, I might hop over to the ABs and then go back to doing it in some sort of order. Because I tend to like to do my paintings sort of the most to the left and to the bottom tends to be the colour that I go for, and I go from there and just work my way down a section or 2, as in this case I've pulled 2 cover sheets off. I actually have 7 going across, so sometimes if I know I'm going to have a really good evening of diamond painting, I might pull off 3 sections, or I might pull off 2, but then when I get part way further down I'll pull off a 3rd, or sometimes if I've not got much time in an evening I'll just pull off 1 section, and it tends to even out by the end. So quite often what I find with these arches is I will concentrate mainly on this part, and sometimes I'll actually move this up to cover up the arch section, just concentrate on this and then concentrate on the arch part. It tends to vary, partly depending on what the diamonds are and partly on how much time I have. My son actually did some diamond painting today and used this pen for doing his, and he's doing a round, and I can definitely tell the difference in the glue dot when it's gone from doing a round diamond painting to doing a square one. It's taken a little bit for the glue dot to seemingly reshape itself ever so slightly, and picks up my squares a lot nicer now than it did at the beginning. So if you find your pen seems to have worked perfectly for one diamond painting, and then you go straight on to do a different shape one and it doesn't seem to pick them up the same, that could be why. It could be the different shapes. But it seems to be recovering, which is good, because I can't be doing with diamonds dropping off my pen every 2 seconds, and I don't fancy changing the glue dot. I don't want to do either of those things. Okay, so letter P is done. But actually, the next one is actually a dark colour as well. It's the letter Y. Get those away. So we've gone from 823 to 336, and I actually don't have the rest of these in here. So this is what was in the pot. So I'm going to go as far as these will allow me, and then I'm going to change colour, because all my extra diamonds for this kit are hung off the side of my diamond painting cart, which is actually in the conservatory. So rather than pause to go and fill up, I'll just move on. And I do that sometimes, especially if I know I'm going to be doing a lot of diamond painting, or if I'm not quite sure how much diamond painting I'm going to do. I might have, say, uncovered 2 sections and actually don't feel like I'm going to get it all completed. What I do then is I still work on the colours starting at the bottom left and letting that decide what colour I do. But I tip some diamonds into my tray, and if my tray empties out, so if I end up putting all the diamonds in my tray on the canvas, I then stop and move on to another colour, and I pick that colour up further down the canvas when I need to. A lot depends on my mood. It's the little things like that that I can change up just to make it feel a little bit different. With the Paint Gem minis, sometimes I like to do them in alphabetical, or the place the diamonds in the order they are in my containers, which tends to be alphabet, then number, then symbol. And I actually just go through my pots and do them in that order, just to change it up a little bit. And it's not as bad when you're working on a small one to go by symbol. I haven't yet gone by symbol on this one though. Maybe I should do that on a section before it's finished and just start at the letter A. Sorry, numbers on this one I've got first. So maybe do the numbers, do the ABs, and then move through the rest until I get to where I get to. It's actually quite a few of these up here at the top. But comments, questions. We have a couple of comments that are actually from the last time I did Cosmic Trip, which was a couple of weeks ago. And then I have some comments from last week's Dynamic Floral. But Jo, she says that Cosmic Trip looks really good. She said the colours are so pretty. She said she has one Diamond Art Club mystery painting. She bought it last year because she saw what it would be, so what the actual mystery image is. She says she still remembers now what it is, but she only vaguely remembers the details. So it will still kind of be a mystery when she does it. She said thanks for sharing, and she wished me a happy Mother's Day for a couple of weeks ago. Thank you, Jo. Yeah, I may cave in to a mystery at some point. I feel like I shouldn't be adding to my stash as it is. I have my stash is getting to the point where it's probably going to be slightly overwhelming soon. I feel like I have quite a lot of paintings for the amount I'm currently getting through them and how quick I'm getting through them. It probably doesn't help that I bought this one and kitted it up. So I've never actually taken it from my stash to make me feel like my stash is going down. So maybe I'll feel better once I do the next one, maybe that will make me feel like I'm at least taking something out of my stash and I can ignore the ones I keep putting in. But yeah, I'm sure the bug will hit me at some point to purchase something, some image that jumps out at me as being really exciting, and then I'm sure my whole I have too much will go completely out the window. But for now, I'm going to try to behave. I've got a couple, there we go. I was trying to get the last couple of diamonds the right way up. I do have a couple of rubbish pieces floating about in the bottom of this tray as well, because I've just tipped out the whole pot. But I'll get rid of most of those at the end. I've got a couple with extra little bits that stop the diamonds from sitting nicely. Get rid of those as I go along, because I don't need to be fighting getting my diamonds to fit in their squares. Okay, next comment. So Sarah B, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she loved seeing me work on Cosmic. She said she, as promised, she does have an update on her sausage roll baking adventure. She said, since your lovely community provided her with so many kind suggestions, she found a recipe for copycat Greg's sausage rolls. Greg's sausage rolls are the best. That diamond has an air bubble in it. So I've got rid of my trash, so I'm going to class Y as done. I will fill that up when I diamond paint later. So yeah, she found a copycat Greg's sausage roll, she said, and they came out wonderfully. She said her husband Both her husband and herself absolutely love them, and she will definitely be making them again. She said they had them with chips, or fries in brackets. She said, as was suggested by many. She said we also had a little side salad. She says, but next time she'll try them with baked beans. Side salad sounds far too healthy for a sausage roll. I don't know how healthy sausage rolls are or aren't, but I never see them as healthy, but maybe that's because I always have them with a cake. She says she's not sure if the Greggs version of sausage roll is the best or not. She says, but they were good to us. Yes, Greggs is a very good version of sausage roll to have, I would say. She said also for a bit more fun, she says, because we're on the topic, for US we call all sizes of chips fries or French fries. She says even though we know they weren't originally from France. She says, however, we sometimes refer to the chunky large ones as steak fries. She says she believes it's because they often serve the chunky ones with steak in steak houses. She says, but who knows? She said this is a wonderful community and she's glad to be part of it. She said, thanks everyone. Well, it's good to know that we all help to make your sausage roll meal a success. I think you found a good recipe with the Greggs sausage roll one, or at least in my opinion. I feel like that was probably the best recipe to be able to go off, is a Greggs sausage roll. If you ever make it to the UK, maybe you'll be able to give a Greggs sausage roll a taste. You'll probably find one on pretty much every high street, if not every high street. We actually have a few Greggs. We have I think we only have one in the town centre now. There used to be two. We actually have one on a retail park around the corner from us, and I know of at least another one on a retail park in our town. So they're definitely, Greggs is definitely coming in more places, cropping up in a lot more places. But yeah, maybe you get to try one if you come over. Steak chips. We probably do call them steak cut chips. It probably is a name some companies give them. The thick cut chips to us though is also what you get at the chippy or the chip shop. So chippy chips is the nice big thick cut chips, and then you can get crinkle cut ones, and there's just so many different types. Lady Sapphire, she said, hi Rebecca. She said Cosmic Trip seems to be coming along nicely. I was trying to have a look at where I was on the last bit. I may have actually been a couple of viaduct arches further down. She says she totally agrees about the drills falling into the locks of the Craftmate storage, which it does in my other painting. She said she ended up using the storage for Advent. She said, but she was quickly annoyed with it. She found that using a small spoon or a scoop could help her to get the diamonds out. She said, assuming you have steady hands, which for me, it completely depends as to whether I have steady hands or not. If I've got something to lean against, I'm fine. If I don't, it can vary from day to day as to whether I have steady hands or not. Balara, she says she thinks I'll have to get flower delivery by Yumi Art from Diamond Art Club. She said in June. She says it's 82 colours. She said this painting will also be so colourful. I'll have to watch out for that one. If we've got another colourful one. This piece of cover paper is just a little bit too low for my liking on here. I've obviously not put it on straight enough. So let me just manage to stick my grip mat to the actual painting, just to readjust, because I do tend to line these up as I put them down. But obviously I didn't line that one up that well. Elizabeth, she says she's a beginner diamond painter. She's actually commented on one of my Minions WIP Chats, which was one of the paintings I finished last year. She said she's working on her 3rd canvas from Temu. She says she loves my videos. She says you're a very calm person. She said have a great Friday. I think that depends on what day you catch me on as to whether I'm a calm person, but I try and keep calm while filming for sure. She also said, she's also commented on my last cosmic trip. She said, good morning, she says, and happy belated Mother's Day. She said, what kind of pet is Luna? She said she has a 9-year-old Doxel, which is a Dachshund Beagle mix, named Herschel Andromeda Woman. She says she lives in water-soaked California, and she too can read upside down. She says she's working on her 3rd canvas. It's a birthday gift for a friend that lives out of state. She says she's looking forward to seeing the end result of Cosmic, and she said have a wonderful day. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth, and welcome to the world of diamond art. It is a fun place to be, that's for sure. Luna is a cockapoo dog. So she's a mix of a Cocker Spaniel and a Poodle, but she's the B grade level. Apparently there is a Cockapoo B, whatever that is. But basically it means her mum, these parents I think can be either way round, but her mum is a Cockapoo and her dad is a miniature Poodle. Whereas her mum came from a Cocker Spaniel and a Poodle, which is level A of a Cockapoo. But yeah, she's definitely got some Spaniel in her. After being unwell the other week, she was also unwell the middle of this week. Considering she's always been a food dog, always loved her food. She seemed to have been off it for quite a while. We actually moved her on to cold press raw food, which is like a less wheat, but not as messy as actual raw food diet. We moved her on to that, which she loved, but again she seems to have gone off finishing it all. However, if we put it into a puzzle, because she does have a few dog puzzles, if we put her food into a puzzle, she'll wolf the lot. She likes to work for it, unless it's cheese, and then she'll eat cheese no matter how that's given to her. If she ever needs to get any tablets or take any tablets, it's always done with cheese, and we've never had any problems. That's her high reward treat, is the cheese. But yeah, she's entertaining, to say the least. Right, I'm just finding, here we go. So I was just finding the comments from last week's WIP and Chat. There was a few Heaven and Earth design comments in between, which of course I will get to when I do my Heaven and Earth design, which probably won't look that wow. Depends when I get to film that one. I feel like I should do a few more days of it before I film, because I'm a little bit behind on my Heaven and Earth design from last week. But anyway, I digress. Cat Lady, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she's just completed a crystal partial painting for her niece's eldest. She said it's a dancer and it has come out really well. She's not sure whether to frame it yet or whether she will even bother. She said she may just seal it and pop it on mount board. Really depends whether you can find a frame that's a reasonable price, because they do look nice in frames if you can find a reasonable price one. However, I do also like ones on mount board, or maybe those magnetic wood strips. I also like them on those. That's what I have Zesty Wolf on. It's actually hung up to the left of me, and it's on some of those wood magnetic clips, and it works really well for that image. A lot depends on the image as well, to which suits it the best. All things crafty by Kaz. She says she hopes all is well with me and that I've had a good week. Thank you very much. I actually cleared my dining table this week, which made me feel good. I feel like it's had a rotating amount of stock on it all week. Never quite getting cleared off. It did actually get cleared off completely on Thursday or Friday, which always makes me feel like I'm on top of things. So that's good. It does currently have stuff on it, but it is stuff that does have another home. It just needs moving. It's not stock, it's just family life stuff from the weekend, from the Friday night, Saturday morning. Stuff just gets everywhere. But yeah, it's been a good week, thank you. She said she finally went back to work last Tuesday. She says although she still has her cough, she is a lot better than she has been. She also received her dynamic floral painting on the 20th of March. She said she did have to double check her logbook. Always handy for those dates. She said she's nearly finished her People's Princess painting, which she has finished since this comment was left. I do know that has since been finished. I've seen it in the group. She says as soon as she's finished the People's Princess and de-kitted it, she's going to kit up her dynamic floral, which I feel like I need to get on with that one a bit more. I know I've just been doing it on a WIP Chats, and I've not done any sort of off camera. And it may well still be the same next week, that I won't have got any done off camera. But then I think I'm going to try and see if I can fit some more in. I've just been so excited doing this one that it's taken me enough just to do a couple of Paint Gem minis, to pause long enough to do some of those. I'm just enjoying the process. I'm just enjoying it so much that I sort of don't want to stop doing this one. That's for sure. She also said, I love it when people leave a second comment and it's right after I've read their first one. It's like, oh, and yeah. I do that in conversations as well. She said, sorry, another comment from me. So this is All Things Crafty by Kaz. She said, the lady who commented, she said to say that you have a soothing voice. She said she is 100% right. She said she's finds when she's listening to my videos after a hectic and stressful shift that my voice soothes her mind. Oh, thank you for that. There is quite a few people that do say that watching my videos helps them to relax. And if my voice also helps with that, then all the better. Maybe that's That's why YouTube has worked for me, is my voice. While I'm doing stuff that I potentially would normally do anyway. The only difference is I probably would be not talking while doing my diamond painting, but I'd probably still be doing my diamond painting at this time anyway. Denaya, she said, again, thank you for what you do. And she also said, you got my name perfect this time. Now, that was the last time I said it, which was on last week's video. And I may have said it completely wrong on this one. So apologies, I haven't actually listened back to how I said your name to know whether I said it right. But we'll go for I'll get it right sometimes. Jackie said, thank you for the glue dots tip for multi-places. She says she's just ordered some from Amazon. See, there you go. The tips get passed on and are helpful to many. Jess Diamond Paint, she said she also stores our trays in rainbow order too. She says she can't resist. She says she's looking forward to receiving her new colour trays from the last launch, the multicolour trays, that two-tone trays. She says her collection is growing and growing. Well, I confirmed and finalised the order last week for some diamond painting tray storage. I'm very happy with how they look on this storage. It is the best quality that we can find for what we think is a reasonable price. We actually really don't particularly make anything on this product when it goes into our shop, but we do think it's worth it to be able to keep the cost as reasonable as we can, because we really love the quality and we think it works the best for the trays. But I will definitely be nabbing myself at least 2 of them when they arrive. So I have one from the samples that we bought to try, because we did try multiple different styles of storage that they already do. We did try a few, but this one I believe is the best storage for the trays. And I think I need at least 2. I know I definitely can't fit all the big trays onto one unit because I've already filled it, and there's colours that aren't on it yet. So I'm going to have great fun when they fully arrive, messing around with the trays so that I can get photos. And I'm loving putting them in rainbow order. And one of the other things I'm actually really looking forward to, because the cheaper storage tubs that I've been using, that many people use for storing their trays, which has been great for actually keeping the trays together, but it doesn't showcase the colours in the same way. So what I'm actually really, really looking forward to when I find where I put my pot of diamonds, so I could put these away, is I'm really looking forward to actually seeing easier and a little bit clearer which trays we've done in which sizes. So we have planned out a few months worth of trays with some sort of new designs, like these two-tone trays that we've just done. We've got a few more months with two-tone trays coming up. Not every month, I think it's actually every other month we're doing a two-tone tray with some of the colours that we already have ready and to hand. which we know nobody's got because we haven't ever printed them in the two-tone apart from Advent. So we are, I'm really looking forward to be able to see what trays we may have only done in Zesty or only done in the big one, so that we can fill in some of the other months doing the other sizes in trays in colours that we may have done, as well as bringing in any new colours that we may find along the way that it'd be rude not to do. So yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to make a list and possibly using the new tray storage to hold both Zesty and the full size, because it will fit both, they just fit differently. I'm kind of looking forward, and I'm not going to do anything past that line, just so you know why I'm ignoring that symbol down there. I'm actually looking forward to possibly using one row of the storage for the big tray and have its matching little tray in the line next to it. So all my trays are organised by colour. There will be some of them that we can't get an exact replacement, but maybe I'll be able to find something close instead. So for example, I know the turquoise we did 2 years ago to go with Zesty Wolf Advent. That supplier of filament stopped shipping from a UK warehouse, or even their European warehouse stopped shipping to the UK. They would only let us ship from their worldwide warehouse, which actually was more than double the price of the filament to ship it to us. So we ended up finding different suppliers for the pink colour and some of the other colours that we wanted to do, but we've never been able to find a matching turquoise that we know will print right. We need to get a few to sort of test some other manufacturers, but we've never been able to get hold of that exact colour that we wanted to again. And I actually went on their website the other day to see again if they'd started up the European shipping. And actually the filament, which was their own brand, which is why we've not been able to find it anywhere else, they've actually stopped doing it altogether. So I definitely need to go on a hunt for some and see if we can find a very close match if we can't find an exact match. But yeah, that's one of the things that I'd like to do, is sort of fill in, use the storage and storing all the trays to maybe try and fit in some of those rainbow gaps. And allow people to build a full rainbow selection of trays. But you guys will be able to let me know. I might do once I've worked out what colours we need, maybe we'll do a poll and see which ones should go first, or which ones people want, while we're always on the lookout for new and different ways to have trays, different styles of filament that makes things look a little bit different, because the rainbow filament won't work for our trays, mainly just due to the length of filament before it changes colour. It won't change colour in the right places, but the two-tone works really nice. So yes, there is definitely more two-tone coming. Angel, she says, yay, more of the dynamic floral rhinestones. She says, you keep on pulling my leg, she said, to get dynamic floral. She says, Cosmic Trip is better than Minion Love, ? Minion Love was a really, really nice painting to do. It was a round and I did love it. But there is something about Cosmic Trip. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's the rhinestones in it being a bit different or what, but I think it is so far one of my favourites. And as much as I loved Minion Love, I think I'd actually put Mother Earth as being my favourite just a little bit more. And again, I don't know if it's just the way, the variety of colours in it, the rainbow amount of colours, more than anything else. But yeah, I did really enjoy doing Minion Love as well. That was a monster painting. Angel said so far her favourite from DAC is Sweet Tooth. Those 907, she says, glow in the dark diamonds are just amazing. Well, she's put heart face emojis. She says, hope you and your family and Luna are doing well. We are, thank you. Luna's had a little spell of being unwell again this week, but we're not sure if it's actually potato that's not agreeing with her. And that's cooked potato. Normally it's uncooked potato that can upset their stomachs a little bit more. But with Luna, we're not sure if it's actually cooked potato that seems to upset her stomach. So as much as she may beg for a chippity chip, she doesn't get them anymore. And so far, we've not had any more upset stomach, but time will tell. We'll see how we go. She's just a drama queen as well, I think. Oh, Elizabeth's back. She said, hi, Rebecca. She loves my videos and have a great Sunday. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. I hope you've been enjoying all of my past WIP and chats while you've been diamond painting. And I get into squeezing the current ones as well. But you've got a lot of past ones to catch up on if you just want some company while diamond painting. Some people that have been watching the channel for quite a long time have been known to go back to those original ones just for the entertainment value of what was going on back during that WIP and chat discussion. I kind of wish I had the time sometimes to go back, but then I think I'd probably cringe about some things I'd said. But I often add the caveat, never say never, because that covers me when I change my mind and do something differently, which can happen on a whim, just because I feel like it. Lady Dax, she says, will you still be selling the wax tips that were the wrong size? She says she's just wondering, as she's put the one she got on a beaded pen, and it is a much better replacement than the one she got from Amazon. Yes, we will. We do want to clarify which tips they're for, because basically we have some wax tip pens in the shop, so these ones, and you basically have two sides to it. One has a wax tip, one has what I call a pushy pen. Like you can put wax in them, but I just use them to nudge diamonds where I want them to go. And these screw out. So these come out with a screw, and we bought what we thought was some replacement wax tips that would be universal across the different pen types and would work fine. Apparently, as we since found out, there are different size screws on the end dependent on the pen. So we actually got ones that do fit very nicely on the wax pens that have the beads in the middle, but they actually don't fit on the ones that we sell. So yes, we do have a lot of stock of the wax tips because we did buy quite a few in. One, not knowing how well it would go, and second, it was just worth, shipping wise, it was just worth buying a decent chunk and then just not having to buy them again for a while. But yes, we will be selling them. We just want to be able to have, we have since placed an order with the supplier of our pens for some replacement wax tips for those pens that will be the right size. We're waiting for those to arrive and confirm that they fit. Tests will be done. And then we will put up a listing that has both, or they'll be both close to each other with, we need to redo the pictures because we want to make sure that people are very clear on which pen they're buying the replacement tips for. Unlike us, we don't want them to think that any will fit any wax pen that they have. So yeah, we're waiting for those to arrive. What we've also done is we have placed an order for just one colour of the pens with the beads inside. And we're going to do a bundle with some wax tips with the pen that those wax tips fit. So basically we'll have these pens on their own, the replacement wax tips for these pens on their own, and then we'll have a bundle with the beaded ones and some wax tips, and then some of them on their own. Though they may be discounted a bit due to the fact that they're not really the ones that we want to stock long term. We don't want confusion. We'd rather have one pen and one wax tip, but we do still have stock of them. So that's the general consensus. So yes, they will be coming. We will be getting them back. I'm just going to cover this up to stop me doing basically any of that viaduct. So yeah, we will put some back. They may actually be a little bit cheaper, or maybe we'll be doing them as a bundle, so it will be buy two or buy X amount altogether. But yeah, they will be coming back. And I actually have one of those beaded pens as well, so I actually, it's one of the hang on, I'm back. Sorry, the electric tripped off, which turned off my filming lights, which made me wonder what on earth was going on. So, where was I? I don't know. But yes, we will be bringing both types of replacement wax tips back. But then we will continually restock one of them, is I think the way we're going to do it. I think it's just less confusion for people. Okay, let me change colour. I'm glad I covered that up because there is some pink on there, but then it does go on quite a bit. So I don't want to start getting too confused with all of that. Sometimes the painting determines my section more so than, you know, my cover paper. It really depends on the design whether it gets sectioned off as well. I've put my cardi on as well because I decided I was cold. It will probably come off in a minute after being under these filming lights for a bit. Anne-Marie, she says she received her dynamic floral today. Oh, there's a pattern going on. She said she ordered it on March the 1st and she got it this last week. She said she can't wait to start it, but she's got a wee Paw Patrol custom to do for her grandson's room first. Yes, you can't disappoint the grandson. She says she uses glue dot lines too in her multi-places and she loves them. I might have to check them out if I manage to master and use multi-places a lot. I do really enjoy the process. So I have primarily stuck to using single placers. However, it might help me to move through my stash a bit quicker. So maybe I should change my mind and do a bit more. Right, I think I've got all of those. She says, thanks again for your WIP and Waffle. She says she gets lost a little bit on days when there isn't one. She says she loves to have my videos on when she diamond paints. Oh, thank you. Maybe you need to go down the nostalgia route, Anne-Marie, and listen to some of the really old ones and report back on any funny little tidbits that spark something in you when you're diamond painting and listening back. I'm on rhinestones. Also, little mini update, when I did drop my Star Raw storage, so I have my ABs and my rhinestones in this Star Raw storage. They did split into two. I actually dropped this. It was a bit ago. It was quite a bit ago. I dropped it on the floor and it actually spilt out a lot of the green, a lot of the rhinestones. It also spilt out a little bit of the pink and a couple of the yellow, but not many, because there wasn't as many of those in the image. So yeah, it decided to spill them out, and I decided to just basically sweep them up and just put them into a tub and sort through them as I was diamond painting. So I would basically tip some into my tray when I came up to the rhinestones, pull the rhinestones out, and then tip the remaining green ABs, for example, into the green ABs pot. I finally got to the bottom of that pot. I actually sorted out the last few by hand today, because it was actually easier to split them by hand and get rid of the last bits of floor fluff that got caught up in it all, rather than try and tip any of those back into pots where they're not wanted. But yes, I have my diamonds back where they're supposed to be for now. We shall see how long that lasts. I think I might actually do my ABs while I have this open and here. Let's pop the ABs down, and then when I get round to the ones surrounding them, I can nudge them back into place. And of course, I've picked up this pen and put it down a couple of times in this WIP and Chat, and I've popped it down the opposite way to the way I normally do. So of course I took the lid off the wrong end first. I have bashed this pen. It did have a finer tip, but I've been a little bit too heavy-handed a couple of times with it. I do find you have to be very gentle with these, but they are so much better for AB diamonds than using a glue dot. And then I can just use my straightener to nudge them, but if they need any little slight nudgings afterwards, I can use the diamonds when I fill up around it. We just have some of the green, yeah, some of the green and some of the yellow, but not too many ABs on this section. The green AB is the most used AB. The rhinestones are used a lot more though, but they work fine with the glue dot. I don't find I have a problem with those and glue dots at all. Okay, so that's all my ABs done. Try and put my pen down. I always try and put it down the same way, so I'm not always taking the wrong top off. And let's go for my next colour, number 5. Some crafts, she says she doesn't think that people realise quite how much time goes into YouTube. She said she knows she certainly didn't until she dipped her toes into filming a video or two. She says she does appreciate the work that I put into the channel. Oh, thank you ever so much. Yeah, YouTube is a lot more than just the filming, though the filming can take a chunk of time, especially the likes of the longer videos, WIP and Chats and things. I have had to do quite a few things to make, in effect, YouTube a little bit easier for me. I've had to try and take a few steps to make it as quick, you know, or the process of editing as quick as I can without, you know, losing the aspects that are needed. I mean, part of the reason I keep mistakes in, there's a couple of reasons I keep mistakes in, things that happen. I'm not going to cut out the fact of when the whole of my diamond painting went dark. Yeah, because one, that makes the editing process a whole lot longer. You know, trying to make sure that it's cut at the right time, that I may need to speak up, do a voiceover, any part. If you ever do a speed up and a voiceover, definitely takes longer to do. I used to watch all the videos back just to check everything was right. I don't do that anymore. You basically, you know, a lot of that is not done now. And yeah, because, say, partly due to editing, and also partly because we're all human. So let's leave the mistakes in there, as well as the stuff that goes right. And then we all know that we're human. We all know that I drop diamonds, that my electric decides to go off in the house. Yeah, we think we know what it is. It's actually one of the lights in our conservatory. We think the wires actually got trapped in the plastic, because we have had an electrician out to it before, and instead of having separate lights, we had it made into a single light for both of them, and that's what worked. But we reckon it's given us trouble again, so we might have to get him to get the wires out the wall. But anyway, yeah, because life does happen, so you get that in as well. But there's still a lot of time spent with the editing that I do still do, the formatting of the video, the uploading of the video, the description of the video. It all takes time, but it's all good. Suncrafts also says, she says about Dreamer's design, she says they are on about their 4th version now. She says, and their newest kits are marked as new version kit above the name when you open it on the website. Okay, so there is a way to tell. You just don't know if you don't know type thing. So if anybody is looking to get a painting from Dreamer's Designs, then keep an eye out for new version kit above the name. She says they are easy to tell apart by the toolkit. The new one has a larger purple tray that has dividers, and not the old white trays. So there we go. That's good to know. There is one of the Dreamer's Designs that I am actually itching to do. I'm really excited. I actually feel like it might be one that I put up in the house, which always makes me even more excited to do it if it's one that's going to become decor and I have an idea of where it's going to go. But in order to do that, because it's a Dreamer's Designs where the canvas isn't, that symbols aren't that clear, I do need to do it in the summer months, in the lighter months. And our clocks have now changed, which some of you may have realised if you've gone to see a video and it's either already been up for an hour or not been up, depending on which way they change for you. But yeah, our clocks now have changed. must remember to say that our time zone is BST, British Summertime, not GMT, when I do the shop launch video. Must remember. So yeah, so I don't know whether to try and squeeze that in as one of my next larger kits, or whether to actually kit up a couple of my large kits so that I can do the Dreamers designs on the lighter evenings, which aren't quite here yet. They're close to being here. We do have light until about 7 o'clock. But sometimes I actually often don't start diamond painting until 7 o'clock. So I might have to wait for the nights to get a bit lighter before I can work on it for a good chunk of time. So I'm not sure whether to kit it up ready. And if I feel the light's good enough, I'll do my Dreamers designs, and if it isn't, I'll do something else. I'm not quite sure yet. But I am definitely itching to do one of them. So it might end up pushing in again. Dorothy says she's working on the Paint Gem Christmas kits right now while listening to me this morning. She said you said you were gonna use AB drills on your Christmas kit. She said, and her head snapped up. She said, and a light bulb went off. She said she never thought about adding AB. She says, thank you for giving me a new idea. Well, I'm glad I could help. I actually did a couple more of my Christmas Paint Gem minis earlier on today, when I was supposed to be getting myself moving and filming, but couldn't quite get the energy to get up and film. I did a couple of Paint Gem minis. The first one, I added ABs as I went along. It was actually the reindeer one. And then I did Santa, and I actually decided to add my ABs first for a couple of reasons. I added 3 ABs to my Christmas Paint Gem minis. I added a red, a green and a white. And Santa, of course, is a lot of red and white, as you can imagine. He's Santa. But I didn't want the white everywhere, and I actually didn't use the red AB everywhere that was red either. I decided that I wanted it in his coat and hat, but apart from that, I didn't particularly want it in his beard or all over his face. I think I used white ABs for the little bit of white in his eyes, which was 1 diamond per eye. And I think I did 1 red diamond per cheek, per rosy red cheeks. And I may have put 1 in his mouth as well. I think there was a couple of different reds in his mouth, and I think I put 1 AB there. But I didn't put any white AB in his beard. And I didn't put any red AB on his nose. Because I decided that it was too much. So I put the ABs on first, and I actually found that worked really well. As I've just said for this one, to be able to use the diamonds placed around them to nudge them straighter if they needed to go straighter. So that's another thing I sort of recommend, or that I found has been helpful, is to put the ABs down first, decide if you're happy with the sort of mix up or how spread out the ABs are or how they look, and then fill in the rest with the normal colours. But it worked for me. Tiffany, she says for Diamond Art Club, she said there is a group that works out as best they can to find out what the mystery kit is, so that people can have a look and decide if they like it before purchasing it. And then if they want it to be a complete mystery, they can put it in their stash and then bring it out once they've forgotten. Yeah, I'm actually a member of that mystery group. I have seen people post. I've just not looked enough, to be honest. I probably need to. I've seen a few people say, oh, this is completed, it's in the comments. But knowing my luck, I will see a picture, I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and realise it's one of the sold out ones. So if I get the urge to go shopping at Diamond Art Club again, I will go into that group and try and search by mystery paintings that are maybe in stock and see if I like any of the images before placing an order. If I decide I want to get one, I'll probably do that. Tammy, she says she loves my videos. Thank you. She says she's currently working on catnap for her niece's birthday. She said she picked it out for me to work on because she doesn't diamond paint. She says she's not a fan of pink and it is loaded with pink shades. But it's working up so fast, she said it really is fun. It's massive colour blocking, which always can help things come together quicker if you've got a lot of colour blocking, because it's just, well, regardless of whether you multi-place or not, if you multi-place it would be even quicker. But it takes out that time of tipping diamonds into your tray and tipping them back into your pot if you can get a lot of colour blocking done. She said since everyone will be at her house for Easter, she said she's decided that all the diamond painters in her family will each put some diamonds down on the painting, as it will make it even more special because everybody will have contributed to it. That's a nice thought. I like that idea. It's like a community style diamond painting, which is always good. Right, have I got all of that symbol? I think so. I think I have them all. Peaches and Diamonds, she says she loves her purple glitter tray. She says, but she has noticed that she tends to lean more towards the lighter trays. She said just for the fact that she can see all the drills. I do tend to favour the lighter trays a little bit more. If I have multiple trays available, like I've got quite a few out of my storage floating about in my cart, then I will go to the darker trays when I'm doing a light colour and a lighter tray when I'm doing a darker colour. But if I only have one tray available, it often is the lighter trays that I'm drawn towards, just because of that contrast a lot of the time. I'm losing the stickiness in my glue dot, can you tell? I might see if I can take this glue dot out and pop it back in again. And I know you shouldn't use metal on the metal tips, but I'm a rule breaker. I always use tweezers to take out my glue dot and put it back in. Shoot me later. So yeah, if it's just one type of tray that I've got, I do tend to lean towards the lighter colours. So I think that will be the first colour that I want to get in both style trays across my storage. And that's also the reason that we have the lighter colour trays do seem to be very popular for people to continue using. Like the coloured trays are great as safe, you've got them all out, and they're great for variety and for changing things up. but the lighter trays in general tend to be a little bit more popular. So yeah, we are, hopefully we'll be able to start, you know, checking through and getting more of them, and that's why we tend to have gone for the lighter trays in the new colours as well. We've still got a mid. I'd say the purple's a little bit of a mid. It's a lightish purple, but it's not a lilac. And then we've got the grey as well, for people that do want the contrast, especially when doing white diamonds. So it gives the best options, I think. She says, Peaches and Diamonds also says, she says, where did you get Dynamic Floral from? So Dynamic Floral is from Kate'd. It's directly from their website. They sent it me. I did an unboxing probably on my other channel, Add More Zest with Diamonds. I did an unboxing on it over there, but it's from Kate'd. It does take a few weeks to ship to you, as noted by a few others, but they have all, I think everybody that's ordered it has now received theirs. She also says that she loves my videos. She says your voice is soothing, and she turns it on at night and listens to my storage playlist. She said, my revamp playlist. She says she just wishes that it was in order. Oh, is it in the wrong order? I think sometimes I've popped some of the playlists in the backwards order so that the playlist has the most recent at the top. Maybe I need to change my playlist so that they are all in order from the beginning, and maybe that'll be better to play the whole list. I will try and remember to do that when I finish this video. I will go and make my playlists play from oldest to newest, and then people that want to just be able to put it on and binge watch can do. Helen, she says she's bought 3 Diamond Art Club mystery kits, and she says she loves doing them. She said seeing the picture appear bit by bit. She said out of the 3, she has loved them all. She says although one of them wasn't what she was expecting. She does always pick artists that she likes though. So she's always picked an artist that she likes but doesn't necessarily know what the image is. It sounds like I'm going to have another look. See, this is the thing when topics come up from being discussed on the last video, and then I discuss them, and then people will put more comments, and then I'll discuss them, and then it just keeps it in my head that I need to buy a Diamond Art Club mystery painting. But the thing is, even if I bought one, I don't know when I get to do it. I think I forget sometimes how long it actually takes to complete a diamond painting, and how I don't have every evening to do this. I feel like since I've started working on the shop full time, I actually have less time to diamond paint. At least when I was working, well, I say when I was working, it's a different kind of work, but when I was working the corporate job, there would occasionally be training days. And because of most of those being online over Teams, I could get a whole day in diamond painting while being at work and listening to a training course, because I take it in better that way. I don't get those days anymore. There's just always something to do, something that I'm excited to do. And I just don't diamond paint in the day anymore, unless I get the odd Saturday or Sunday off and I decide to diamond paint. I just don't do it. I nearly took Friday afternoon off. I was like, right, I'm not starting another advent project on a Friday afternoon It was about 12, half 12, I think it was. It was like, yeah, I'm not starting another Advent project on a Friday afternoon, because then I would mess up my table that I'd just cleared the day before. It just got cleared up. So I'm not doing that. So I'm going to give myself the afternoon off. And I might do a spot of diamond painting. I thought I work Saturdays and sometimes Sundays anyway, so it's not like I don't work 6 days. And through the week, I work pretty much from when I get up, though I might put a load of washing on or empty the dishwasher, up until hubby gets home. That's when I tend to finish whatever I'm doing and stop. So anyway, I was like, I'll have Friday afternoon off. And then the postman, courier, knocks at the door with a delivery of an item that we were at the time out of stock of. And it needed some prep before it would be ready to go into an order to be sold. So I was like, okay, no, I'll do these. So I ended up working anyway. But here's to maybe some summer afternoons diamond painting. If I can get Advent goodies finished, then maybe I'll allow myself to diamond paint in the afternoon a bit more. Elaine says, thank you for my order. You're so welcome. That's my first thing I do most mornings, is pack the orders. My first job of the day. I do my heaven and earth design while I'm waking up, and then I pack orders. It depends on the quantity. There's been a couple of days this week I've actually had quite a few orders in the morning, so I've not done my heaven and earth design because I have a cut-off for the courier to pick up American orders on the same day. So if I've got quite a few, I actually skip my heaven and earth design to make sure I can get the orders out. But it's sort of my lovely little time in the morning. Sometimes can go on till mid-afternoon, and then depending on when they've been finished is when I pick my afternoon task. Whether that be stock items or Advent items depends on what's needed. If I'm out of a stock item, then that comes first. Yeah, and then I have an admin day, a big heavy admin day, 1 day a week, where I do the books and put all my orders in and source new products. So we have quite a few new products for those that aren't on Facebook or Instagram. I did do a post the other day. I actually did a social media post instead of Megan because I was at the hairdressers. So I decided, what better time to put up a post when I'm at the hairdressers and I actually am able to reply to comments. In between sitting there, I was able to reply to people's comments. But we do have upcoming, we will have of course, the right replacement tips. They have been confirmed, they are on their way. We will have restocks of Advent and Zesty Wolf. Hopefully they will be here soon. Not exactly sure. They're working their way through customs, which frankly takes its sweet time. But they are on their way. We have also managed to secure supply direct from the manufacturer of the display books that I use for Paint Gem Minis, to store those. I know there's quite a few people, especially America, who haven't been able to source them themselves due to the size, due to the fact that they're A5, which is more the size of paper that the rest of the world uses. So yeah, we've managed to source the display books. They are due back in stock with the manufacturer towards the end of April. And we have an order in with them ready. ready and waiting for them to be back in stock. We will also be stocking cardstock, A5 cardstock. We will get that from our cardstock supplier, who supplies us with all our cardstock paper needs. We will get A5 black cardstock from them. We may even get some white. I need to put a poll up actually. I need to see how many people use white or whether people just use black, as to whether I need to get a box of each. And when I say a box, it's a big box. We also have coming, sneak peek for those that do watch, these. Somebody thought they were circular trays, but they're not. They're tiny. These are actually the bigger discs for the logbooks, and we have them in the logbook colours. So they will be coming out soon. I have a couple of the colours in this room with me, but I don't have them all ready yet. So yeah, they will be coming as well. We've got quite a few different bits. We've got a new item which will be announced next Saturday. It was actually a request from a subscriber. It was a request from them, so we've actually got that coming up. I'm trying to think what else launches this next month. But yeah, there's a few different things, and of course tray storage, but that needs to ship and get through customs. It's a bulkier item than we normally get, so it doesn't come via air. It's not cost effective to get it sent via air at all, and we want to keep the costs as low as we can, considering it's already higher. It's not an unreasonable price, but it's not a cheap price because of the quality of it. So yeah, lots happening behind the scenes, that's for sure. April said she ordered her first Add More Zest tray yesterday. She says she can't wait to try it. Well, it's on its way and it should be with you soon. She also asks, where is the dynamic floral kit from? So it's from Catered, is the dynamic floral. I did an unboxing on it on my second channel, my Add More Zest channel. Amy, she says, thanks for the idea. She says she's asking her mum and dad if she can use their line while they're away for the month. Oh, so is that to dry your washing? I love putting washing out on the line, and I'm so gutted that it has not been nice enough weather for me to do it. I especially love it with bedding, and that's probably where you've got it from. Wash your bedding, get it out on the line and get it back on the bed. It smells absolutely gorgeous. Bryn says, for whoever said they get headaches when they're diamond painting, she said another reason besides what I've said is that actually you looking down could be causing extra neck tension, which can lead to headaches. So they would recommend having a straighter posture, or having the diamond painting on a table or a desk rather than the lower surface of a lap desk. So if it is neck pain related, so if you are finding that maybe glasses isn't something, you've had your eyes tested recently, an easel helps really well as well. This is on an easel. And I do notice that I get a lot more neck ache when I'm working on my Paint Gem Minis, which I don't tend to use an easel for, though I should. I'm just too lazy to take this painting off the easel to put the Paint Gem one on, to then put this one back to do some of this one. So I tend to do my Paint Gem minis one at a time, because then I'm not bending my neck for too long, and then I can go back to an easel. So there you go. See, this is what I love, is that somebody comes in with a query and we end up with a few different answers, and hopefully one of them will help you to diamond paint more. Your house may not like it, but it should help you to diamond paint more. Okay, where was I? K, letter K. Jo, she says she's thankful that the limited edition trays lasted as long as they did. She said she was really happy when she woke up a few hours after launch time and found out she could still get them. She says for the June waffle, she says if you're going to do the Paint Gem minis again this year, she said maybe you could assign numbers to them. Put them on a container, like an envelope, and pick one randomly each day, and the number of that image will be the section number for those who will be doing one image. She said, as always, thank you for the company. That's an idea, because then it will give other people the numbers. Maybe I need to do a poll and see whether people in general would prefer for me to do Paint Gem minis or section up a painting. Bear in mind that Advent will be sectioning up a painting, so maybe I'll pop a poll in the group and see what people think. My batteries are running away from me today. I'm now on my third one. It's one of those days. Right, how many comments do I have left? Oh, I actually only have a couple, and then it's mainly my Heaven and Earth design. Okay, I thought I actually had quite a few more comments than I do, and I thought I was going to have to wrap it up without having got through them all. But I think there's two more, and the rest are Heaven and Earth design, of which I have loads. So Stephanie, oh, she's a crafty gamer lass. I like it. She says she has War Pony by Diamond Art Club in her Craftmates storage, and she said she's put a piece of tape over each label to keep it from peeling up when she slides them in and out of the storage case. So yeah, the storage case for the little trays of diamonds can catch labels. I've not found it's done it with my dynamic floral stickers, but I have had one in the past where it did do it. So a bit of tape over the top is definitely helpful for that. She says she also has a small spoon that she got from Banquet that she washed, and is using it to scoop her diamonds out so they don't go everywhere or get stuck in the latch. I need like one of those little sweetie scoops that you get from those kids' toys. She says the bottles are definitely her favourite storage type, but she does tend to use those on her 30 by 40s that are done quicker. Where was I? Oh, and she has the 28 containers for the Paint Gem minis. She says she also has a set of Tic Tac containers that she's using for her cross-stitch conversion, which she is hoping to start as soon as she's finished War Pony. She says as for the June waffle, she says you could do one of the new sets from Paint Gem that has 16 in it, and then a smaller painting divided into 14, so it's a little bit of both. That's an idea. That's another idea. Okay, I'm going to pop a poll up, I think, in the Facebook group. Sorry for those that aren't on Facebook, but it is definitely easier to pop it up in that group. for Paint Gem Minis, diamond painting on its own, or both. And maybe if I did number up both the paint gems and the painting, it could be still pulled out to decide which one. She said she would love to have the chance to get whatever painting or paintings you are working on and do it along with you. Right, I will get that poll up soon so that I can determine which, and then I'll maybe look at see if it's a painting that I can get in for it. It won't be one that we design for it. We have got a design going for Advent, but it's been a bit much to do it for June as well. Never say never, but at the moment it's a bit much to do it for June as well. But yeah, I'll see if I've either got one in my stash that can still be purchased from somewhere, or whether there's one that I can get in specifically for June Waffle, if that's the decision, the result from the poll. It will all depend on what the poll is, so maybe I'll get that up and see what that comes back. But it wouldn't surprise me if both is liked by many, because that would potentially give everybody a little bit of what they want. She says, as for the restock of Zesty Wolf and the Advent painting, she said, if it is restocked between launches, will there be a way to, hang on, sorry, I'm looking for a colour, I'm looking for a number as well, or a letter. She said, will there be a way to hold them for international customers so we can save on shipping? Yes, international customers, I'm more than happy if the diamond paintings come in, because basically if I did a launch and it had the diamond paintings and the trays all at once, then I would have to say to people I can't combine shipping, because last October was horrific. The actual admin to combine orders must have taken 8 hours to do, from the finding the orders in the first place and pulling them together, to sorting out any potential refunds and anything off the back of that. Must have been a good 8 to 10 hours. So if we did them both together, then we probably couldn't combine orders. However, if we do them separate, and we have done this quite a few times for people and been more than happy to do it, is if people place the order for the Advent or Zesty when it comes in, and then asks us to keep hold of it so it can be combined with the next launch, then wherever possible we will do that. It's only when our orders get into the really high numbers, which is normally Advent time, that we can't accommodate it next year. It's just not. This year. It's just not going to work. It just delays everybody's orders actually getting to you, because we're so much trying to combine them. But yeah, I'm more than happy if Zesty and Advent, when they are ready and launched, if you want us to hold on to them until the next launch month and combine your order, then we'll do that, and then we refund any overpayment of postage once your order's been shipped. Well, it's normally a couple of days after, depending. Priority is to get the orders out, and then we get any refunds processed. But yes. She also says, wow, that was a lot of stuff. But she greatly enjoyed my videos, and she is looking forward to the WIP and Waffle a day in June. Yes, I enjoy the WIP and Waffle a day. They're not as long as this one, and this one's actually turned into a very long waffle. considering it's taken me about 3 hours to get myself in here to film it. I do enjoy it once I start filming. I've just been so tired today, I just couldn't be bothered moving. But yeah, they're not quite as long, but they are definitely fun. They're fun to do. Right, let me pick this last colour because this last comment is shorter. So let me find this one, and at least we've done a nice section. It's only really the dark parts that are left. But Tracy, she said she was tickled by all of the static comments, she says, and the ensuing chaos. She said she also finds that if she cuts all the way across the bag instead of cutting corners, that there is less static while kitting up. Well, I will be sure to be testing some of these static options if and when I have my next static filled painting. She also says that she loves how shiny my dynamic floral picture is. Thank you so much. Right, I'm just checking through my comments. I'm pretty sure. Oh, there's a few comments that have come in while I've been filming this, but they're not for the WIP and Waffle, so we're okay. All the ones I have now are for the Heaven and Earth designs, which, depending on how big the section is, will depend on how many of those I can get through, because there's getting a backlog, but I'm sure I'll figure out some way of getting through them. But yeah, that is pretty much a double section done. If I took that off, it would be, but that's another section done for today. Do stay tuned, of course, for the videos that are up for this next week. I have the last of the unboxings of the paint gems. Heaven and Earth design, of course, my Heaven and Earth design WIP and Chats. People seem to be loving the 2 WIP and Chats a week. We've got a fun fan sales Friday. We've got the shop launch. We've also got a video on my other channel as well. So don't forget to hop over there and make sure you're subscribed for that. But I've actually, after next week, I've got a few kitting ups that I want to do. I was gifted a gorgeous painting by Paulette, who's Lady DAC. She gifted me a gorgeous painting after I commented on one from the same set that she did herself that I loved. And she was kind enough to send it to me. It was a great surprise. I had no idea it was coming. And I'm actually thinking of kitting that one up because, you know, I'm just going to join the Have a Lot of Paintings Kitted Up Ready club. And then maybe I'll get to de-kitting some of these when they're eventually done. But anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. So stay tuned for much more coming this week, and I'll speak to you all again soon.